Welcome to the Rental Property Owner and Real Estate Investor Podcast, brought to you by the Rental Property Owners Association, where real estate investors have found success since 1968. I'm your host, Brian Hamrick from Hamrick Investment Group. This episode is sponsored by Green Property Management, managing everything from single-family homes to apartment complexes in the West Michigan area. Find out more at greenpropertymgt.com. And RCB and Associates, helping real estate investors and small business owners navigate the complex world of health insurance and Medicare benefits at rcbassociatesllc.com.
So here we are at the Midwest Real Estate Investor Conference. And once again, we can't do this conference any longer unless we have a conversation with Ramond Harris.
Let's go.
A Detroit investor. And Ramond, we've been talking, I think 5 years in a row, we've had a conversation with you.
We absolutely have.
And we've seen your progression like every year.
Yeah.
And Justin Workman is with us again, friend of the show, man of leisure.
Oh, yeah.
Man of leisure. That's a great title. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. Glad to be back again. It's been another great year at the conference, and it's always fun to catch up with all of our friends and associates that you work with throughout the year.
Absolutely.
Good to catch up with Ray.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Annual update.
Yeah. And these are the kind of conversations that happen in these types of conferences, especially the Midwest Real Estate Investor Conference, where you meet people that, you know, can really alter the course of your investing and your success.
Yeah.
And so, Ray, when we first met you 5-6 years ago, you were struggling with the idea of like doing your fix and flips, and you just weren't making enough money.
Correct.
Because it was all going to your partner who was getting the hard money and paying the hard money lender, and you were doing all the work, but not getting enough of the profit.
Exactly.
But the connection you made while you were here was you actually met that hard money lender, and you were able to go directly to him.
Yeah. So back in the deal room, 2019, I came up, I was actually presenting my deal, and the guy was in the room and he's like, "Hey, I think I funded a deal." I think I funded that deal. And lo and behold, he ended up being our money guy. I was splitting my deals back then 50-50 with my partner, who was, of course, borrowing the money. So I was getting the fees plus getting a 50% split on deals that I was finding. So it was like, all right, let's get rid of all of these people in the middle now that I know the direct person. And again, I wouldn't have had that without coming to the Real Estate Investor Conference back in 2019. So every year since, I've continued to come and continue to build relationships, and it's been great.
Yeah. And in past years, you bought a FedEx route.
Yes.
And you bought several FedEx routes. And you were, last year, I know you were giving us the kind of the ins and outs of how you were negotiating those routes. So tell, and that's a pretty incredible business, but tell us where that is in your life now.
Great segue. So right now, FedEx is no longer a part of our life. Me and my partner decided last year that it was just kind of time to move on. We were putting in a lot of effort into the business, and there wasn't a lot coming back. And kind of the last camel was they offered us a contract that was less than our previous year's contract, but required us to do more work. And that was in the city of Southfield. So once we got that, it was like, all right, it's time to start pivoting. God, the glory, we got lucky because right before that happened, which was in April, we started digressing our FedEx business last April. In February 23rd, I got a call from my lawyer, who I also met here at the Real Estate Investor Conference in 2023. So 2 years ago, I met him here, and he's been my lawyer ever since. But he called me with the business opportunity to open or to purchase a commercial painting business that had been running for about 24 years. And of course, we jumped on it. So we bought the business. The business was $300,000 for $1.3 million in business that they already had kind of scheduled for 2024. And then we also got a commercial building that was 5,500 square feet.
So you bought a business and a building.
We bought a business and a building, yep. So $300,000 got us the business and the building. So once we got that, we kind of looked at the dynamics of that business and said, hey, this is more like what we would want to do going forward. So we started pushing that FedEx stuff out the door. Instead of renewing my contracts with FedEx, I just kind of told them like, all right, y'all just keep it. I don't want to take it again. And it was kind of it was peaceful. It was a peaceful split. You know, I gave them the time that they required. It's like 30-day notice if you're not going to extend your contract with them. So I gave them their 30 days and I kind of just backed away from each of my contract. Now, what that did was that left me with 36 truck notes that I had to figure out in the interim of selling.
Okay, wait, stop there.
Shoot.
So feel free to jump in
No,
here. 'Cause
I was
shoot,
going
I'm
to.
rolling.
waiting.
Justin, you have
You're
much more
good.
business
Yeah,
savvy
I'm
than I
rolling.
do when it comes to buying
you're
and
good.
selling business. But did you not sell your routes for FedEx, or
No,
were you
we did not sell
able
them.
to sell them?
No,
or?
we were not able to sell them. It was at a point where, like I said, it was contract time. So it was either like, okay, re-up and then sell, or just give it back.
Oh, but so
And-
you would have had to put down a lot of money to
Yeah,
re-up.
you would have pretty much
Okay.
been tying yourself back in, and then there's no time frame on when you would have actually sold. So we would have possibly been trying to run this paint business while having the bulk of our FedEx business, and it just wasn't worth it to us. So it's like, all right, let's just give it back to them so that we can avoid locking ourselves back in and now being required to, fulfill our obligations
Yeah.
with our contract with FedEx.
So what do you do with the truck now? Because when we first talked to you 5 years ago,
That was the problem.
You had 2 trucks
Yeah.
that were
Yeah.
really weighing you down.
Yes.
Now how many trucks do you have?
Well, no, not as of today. We have 0 trucks. Well, the 3 that we have, we're keeping. So we got a Sprinter van and 2 box trucks that we're going to use for the paint company. But everything else, like all of those step vans, the actual delivery trucks for FedEx, we sold all of them.
Okay.
So I got rid of 33 trucks. It took from October until literally last week. We just got rid of the last one last week. So it took a nice amount of time. But even then, I was paying truck notes from April. It continued to snowball. So the bill just got bigger as we split off the businesses. So we got, I think it was 206,000 of negative, I guess you would say, expenditures that we spent trying to keep the truck notes covered. We were making money as well for selling the trucks. So it was a balance. So we'll get money in, we'll take some of that money and pay truck notes or whatever. But a lot of money came back out of our pocket, but it was okay. Like I said.
So the cost of extricating yourself from the
Yes.
FedEx arrangements that you had
Yes.
came in the form of having to sell your trucks
Yes.
while they weren't making money and then paying off the notes at the same time.
Yeah.
Were there other costs associated with getting out of the FedEx arrangement?
Big costs? Not really. No. Insurance, workman's comp, all that stuff, of course, as the employees downsized, all of that stuff was able to come down as well. Your gas expenses, of course, as the trucks aren't running, that stuff comes down as well. So a lot of your extra costs that you have with FedEx, when the trucks ain't running, there's really no other expenses. So if the trucks is parked, your biggest bill is storage, which we were blessed to, and our office has a gated parking lot. So it's one of those automatic gates. So it was so perfect that the building, it was a great thing that came into our life.
Are you
But
talking about the building you bought with the paint
that came
company?
with the paint company, yup. So it has a nice sized parking lot, and it had a fenced in area. So that way they weren't taking on my Cadillac converters. You know how that goes. I did get one
trucks.
stone, but
Oh,
yes,
That's
but
painful.
yeah, but it wasn't so bad. So we got out pretty painless, I guess you would say.
So have we learned the lesson with trucks? Are you going to stay out of the trucking business in any way, shape, or form going in the future?
Ray will
Well, I can't,
never leave this.
I can't never not do some form of truck. So we do still have 2 straight trucks at Amazon Relay. It's very kind of hands off though. It's way less stressful. Drivers go out at like 2 a.m. They come back at like 10. So they're running, doing their thing kind of while we're asleep.
So you're still doing some of the shipping business?
Yeah. We still
so you're not
with
FedEx
Amazon.
anymore,
Not with
but
FedEx.
you do
yes.
Amazon.
Yeah, we're doing Amazon. Yeah, and Amazon, like I say, it's from Amazon to like post office, or from Amazon to Amazon. So it's a lot less, really no customer facing type of stuff. So it's much simpler
Okay.
than what we were doing with FedEx.
Nice.
Go-
It's always
I-
something and people don't understand how all of these businesses work. They think just
Yeah.
the FedEx driver that shows up to their house is a
Yes.
FedEx employee, and it's not the case.
That is definitely
Or same
not the
thing with
case.
Amazon. They think the Amazon delivery guy that shows up every day is, employed by Amazon, and it's not the case. There are all these small businesses that work for them and contract for them to deliver all these packages.
Yes.
It's just fascinating how it all works.
Yes.
And I think the difficult part with all of those businesses becomes you can't, bid out essentially, or, set your price point. It's those companies basically tell you this is your per package price, or this is your route price. This is what you're going to get paid. And you have to decide if it's worth it or not.
But as Ray pointed out last year,
Yeah.
you can negotiate those things.
You
'Cause
can.
You push
Well,
back, and then
yes.
you got a
It
better
worked,
price.
but this last year they wasn't doing it. It's a wrap. So the new CEO took over with FedEx, and he was not having it. He wasn't having it.
Said
No.
Ray's going to get this.
This is
much.
the number.
That's it.
Yes, this is the number. You're taking it or you can walk, my boy. And that was the decision we had to make. So like I say, it's a tough decision. And again, it was all of our drivers, and the good side of the story is all of our drivers I was able to place with other contractors. So no one lost work from this transaction. So every time we were able to split off a piece of the company, I would give those drivers to the person that was taking over that area. So again, it was very, very, very clean, I would say, as far as collateral damage.
And when all is said and done, I mean, you were in that business for 4 years.
4 years, yeah.
What's your takeaway? Is it a lucrative business that's worth, like, for anyone out there considering buying a FedEx route? Is it something to do?
I would say if you're looking to, FedEx would be a person who doesn't want to work for someone, but doesn't mind working too. Like, this isn't like
it's still hard work. It's not passive.
It's not a passive business. It's not a passive business at all. You're going to have to be very hands-on, from hiring to firing, from truck maintenance to truck purchases. All of that stuff needs the person that can actually make the decision to make that decision. It's kind of tough to delegate some of that stuff. So it's really for a person who is really like, hey, I want to be a high income earner, but I don't mind being in the trenches to get my high income, because it's going to be income. It's not passive at all. So it's work. So I would say what I learned is FedEx is a business that has a lot of moving parts. And if you're someone who is structured and can put together a team and put people in place to do things and don't rely so much on yourself, then you can run a FedEx business and probably be more profitable than we were. We wore a lot of hats, and I feel that caused us to have to shortcut here or overcompensate here, in the maintenance department, where we probably should have just hired an on-staff mechanic instead of just trying to go to shops and, like, as things break, I'm fixing them, which is reactive instead of being proactive. So instead of having like a preventative maintenance plan, it broke, and I'm like, oh shoot, let's fix it. And that it doesn't work like that.
Well, it almost seems like to be super successful, you got to go bigger. So you got more systems, more economy of scale to just make all of those things.
Which is the hard part of that, is that you do need to get bigger in order to pay other people, but trying to get big that wears on you. That's the thing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think you find that with a lot of businesses that are for sale in general, is a lot of the smaller businesses require more of an owner-operator position. Yep. It's hard to put some type of management in place and be completely passive with them. Yeah. I think it's a nice dream. It's just
that's the thought.
By the time you pay somebody to manage a lot of the small businesses that do come up for sale, there's no money left over to actually take home a decent profit and a decent return on them.
That's it.
Now, if you want to work in them, I think there's a lot of great opportunities.
I agree with that. I very much agree with that.
On the smaller end of things, it's tough. You gotta, like you say, it is boots on the ground every day. You need to be there to make sure things run smooth.
And even with paint, I think I'm finding that there is a level of middle management that is needed, and we just have to do better at finding that, and that's one thing that I would say I've learned this weekend being here at the RPOA conference, is that people that are successful, they have teams that help ensure their success. We are still struggling with holding on to stuff, and I don't know if it's because we want to, or just that we're not presenting our opportunity to enough people. And I think that's what I'm kind of getting at.
Give us an example of what you mean.
So, for example, I was here today and I was speaking about the issues of my front office. So when we bought the company, we inherited a few employees, and those employees aren't, I guess you would say, initiators, or like they need direction, and then they only go as far as the direction that I give them. So either I need to get better at giving direction, or I need to get some different people who can take direction and run with it a little further than what I'm currently getting. And I think that'll help me push the business forward and not try to be at so many places at one time. Example is, I was talking today to a property management company who has new builds going on. So now, okay, I want to try to get their business with paint. I talk to her, I get the contact information. She's like, oh, I'm gonna send you all the stuff, Ray. Well, once I get it and I pass it to my team, I don't really have confidence that they're gonna do what they need to do in order to get it to the next step. So I'm going to now I did this part, now I'm going to have to go back here and go try to help do their part too. And that's where I need to get better at. Like I say, better delegation. Or to me, what I think, hearing what I heard this weekend, is I got to get better people on the bus.
So How is your company structured now? Kind of top down to painter. Like, what are the positions? What are the employees?
Not enough
look
positions.
like?
That's the problem. So I have, I guess you would call my partner, you would call him like a CEO. I will be like put me as CEO, put my partner as like CFO.
Okay.
So he handles all our finances and everything
Yep.
like that. And then we have our like sales and marketing person. And then we have our office person who does our payroll, helps with bidding, and she does all of the collecting accounts receivables and accounts payable. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So she does all of that type of stuff.
Okay.
And that's the core four.
Okay.
And then we have like other little
Project
people who
managers,
do stuff.
foremen, kind of thing, or nah?
So nope. So we last year, me and my partner, we split sites and we did all the project managing.
Okay.
So that's where, like I say, I probably need a project manager, but then we're not big enough yet to where it's like, and it ain't enough jobs, so that's kind of what I'm struggling with at this point is now, okay, who do I bring on, and then where do I place them?
Well, and I think in the construction area, it's really difficult, especially when you're trying to get work, is that estimating portion, that sales portion is so key. I mean, with any business, it really is. The sales that drive the business.
Yep.
Yeah, so that person needs to be a very self-motivated, high-intensity person.
We don't have them. That's missing.
And I think that's the struggle that I kind of heard from an earlier conversation we had is like you need to either you or your partner need to take on a little bit more of that aspect. But even it worries me that, you talked about your payroll person, accounts receivable payable does some estimating too. And I think that may be a misstep along the way is you need to get one person in that role or, you and another person or somebody at the top to really drive that sales end. Yeah. Because without sales, you're going to sink.
That's it. And that's what we're learning. Also in paint, we found that it's kind of a year out, especially for the bigger projects. And we didn't bid at all in 2024. So we kind of been behind the 8-ball, I guess you would say, and trying to bid for work for this year. Yep. But most of it ain't starting till late fall or 2026. So we have gotten some jobs, but they just haven't started. So now it's like your painters are sitting. That's never good.
And even Brian can talk about, when you start working on a new build construction project, when is your contractor giving you an initial estimate? Yeah. At that point, you have kind of a blueprint. They're reaching out to their painters that they use and getting an initial price back. Now, knowing that can change and fluctuate, but at least they got a ballpark figure, and it kind of helps build that relationship in the future too.
I'd like to take a moment to tell you about Green Property Management. Not only do they manage everything from single-family homes to apartment complexes in the West Michigan area, they also manage my entire portfolio. So I can tell you from personal experience that their unique flat fee management style is worth a closer look. If you feel that your property isn't operating to its fullest potential, then Green Property Management can help you take a holistic approach that will save you money, eliminate your headaches, and increase your net income. And if you're a property manager interested in applying Green Property Management's model, give them a call at 1-866-95-GREEN or visit them on the web at greenpropertymgt.com. If you're thinking of leaving your W-2 job and becoming a full-time real estate investor, one of the greatest costs you must consider is healthcare for you and your family. When I made this transition myself, I found the whole healthcare insurance process to be confusing and frustrating. That's why I'm glad I met Chad Creasy at RCB and Associates. Chad is a professional health insurance agent who helps real estate investors and small business owners understand and choose their best healthcare options. And best of all, his services are covered by the insurance company and won't cost you a dime. If you live in Michigan and are expecting a change in your healthcare insurance coverage for any reason, or losing employer coverage or transitioning into Medicare, then you owe it to yourself to contact Chad Creasy at rcbassociatesllc.com.
What often happens is schedules fall out of sync.
Yes.
So maybe you go to your painting contractor and they're like, yeah, we can do that for this much.
Yep.
But then you're 6 weeks behind. Their painters are on a different project. They'll bring in a different group.
They will.
And still charge the same amount. But so this is where maybe some of those subcontractors relationships, maybe their guys are, off on a different job, but they've got this job they need to take care of right away. This is where
you can step into that role.
And that's where we are building relationships with the GCs, you know, the bigger guys out there that can give me that type of flexibility to say, hey, we had this, we thought we were good, but now we need you. So that's where right now a lot of our time is spent shaking hands, kissing babies. We go into a lot of these companies, they doing like lunches and, you know, outreach things, events and stuff like that. So we're going, presenting ourselves.
So, you know what I would do? Let me give you some advice.
There we go. That's what I need.
Because one of my friends, he works for one of the equipment rental companies, and I've been with him on sales calls.
Yes.
He just walks on the job site, goes to the job trailer, says, "Hey, I'm Ray. Well, I'm Ray. I got a painting crew. You guys need any painting done? Because if you are under the gun, give me a call."
There you go.
So have you done any of that? Walk on to the job sites, go to the trailer?
We have not been walking on job sites. No, you are. That's.
It's very successful doing that.
It's huge.
Because you're in the middle. You stepping in the fire when you're doing that. I like that. I like that.
But you're not. You're stepping onto a job site.
Yeah.
This is where the decisions are being
That's what
made.
I'm
This
saying.
is where they're like,
that's
oh my God, we're behind. We are behind schedule. We need these. We need this whole floor painted.
Yes.
This
right
weekend.
Now. Yeah. Flooring is starting.
This is where you get the work.
I like that.
And those
really
PMs, those project managers on that job site look like a hero if they can bring somebody in for the same cost or less money and get the thing back on schedule.
I mean, I've been at several construction projects I've been part of. It's like, who are we going to get to do this work right away? Because we're behind schedule. We lost the guys we had lined up. Now we still need to get it done. Who's going to come in and do it?
Yes.
So just getting your name out there. And that's where I think that sales position really needs to get stepped up. You know, you've really got to.
But right now, it's Ray.
It's me.
Ray's the one who's got to go to those job sites.
We got to get out there. We got to, and we've been doing a good job. Like I said, we've gotten some good relationships over these first 4 months of the year. O'Brien Construction. It's a few guys that are actually giving us some shots. But again, it's just like, all right, Ray, you got the job, but it don't start to,
You're in the Detroit area.
Yes.
Find the 5 biggest projects going on and go to those job sites and make it your goal that by this weekend, we're going to have something lined up for our guys away.
And same thing. Every day you're out on the road.
Yes.
You know, you are out on the road going somewhere.
Yeah.
Stop at every site you pass.
I like that.
Big or small.
I love that. That's aggressive.
You never know how those little guys progress along the way. Yes, it may only be one single family house today, but you know, next year it may be 10, next year it may be 30. You just never know how that's going to change and what their path is as well. So just stop in at everyone you see. I mean, and as much as we want to think it's not a people business.
Oh no, it definitely is.
Every
relationships.
Part is relationships. Every part is networking. It's just that connection.
You're at the hustle stage. You got to get out and hustle. But it's like, what's the effective hustle? Is it going to the networking events and talking to people on the periphery? I actually think it's going right into the fire and getting into that job trailer and saying, here I am. When do you need my guys here?
That is legit.
I'll have them here tomorrow.
I like that. That is
because you're solving a problem. And the better you can solve someone's problem, the more successful you're going to be.
I like that.
You're not solving anyone's problem here because they're here. They're not feeling the pressure.
That's very true.
And that more like localized connection with that project manager is really going to make a difference. Even if on this particular job they don't need you. I mean, everybody has a phone now. We put in everybody's number. I don't know. And you know, you never know when you're going to get that call.
Or they got another project on the other side of town. And they're like, well, I don't need you here, but I can use you over there.
Or, you know, my other counterpart needs this project done. I mean, just making that connection is huge.
No, I'm enjoying paint. I think that this is something that we can do for a while. It does allow us the opportunity to do other facets of construction, which is good. Like you said, a lot of the GCs have now been asking us for demo. They're like, hey, well, you know, it'd be better if you took the kitchens out opposed to the demo crew because you're the one who got to fix the drywall behind the old cabinets. When they come out.
Don't just paint, you do drywall too?
They've been asking us that. So we've been bidding now demo and paint because of just requests. You know, they just
apartment complex.
Just for my that's all that includes drywall.
Yes.
So that's a huge thing. I mean, So
the drywall repair, because they like, okay, even when taking doors out doing demo, we replacing all the doors, ding, ding, ding. Well, if your guys is taking the doors out, well, hey, then now they might be a little more careful because you going to be on their tail about having to fix that drywall. So we've been getting some just natural opportunities that are
Well, it seems like you just opened up your possibilities
Oh, yeah.
by 100% if
Yeah.
you do drywall too.
Yes, yeah. Oh, yeah, we do paint drywall. Yes, 100%. I guess I need to be saying.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what's
not
your
just
business,
painting.
Ray?
Yeah,
What is your
Well,
business?
now we're doing
it's-
demo, we're doing paint, we're doing
Yeah,
drywall.
yeah.
So what is
we're
that?
an
What is-
all-encompassing,
So what does Ray say to
remodel
people?
Construction company in a
Because
minute.
when you say
Construction company.
paint, I'm just thinking you're going to come paint
Yeah.
the walls.
Oh, yeah.
Couple
no.
guys with a roller and a
So
bucket.
Yeah,
what is it you do? What is
We
your
normally in our bids is 50 to 75 square feet per room or whatever because we've been doing apartments. They normally give us a allowance of drywall. If it goes over, then they'll pay us additional. But our paint includes normally 50 to 75 square feet of drywall normally. So that's just
But that's
still don't follow. Like
huge
you
amount of drywall per unit.
yeah,
So you're saying you're
I mean,
doing
'cause that's
drywall
just-
and paint.
That's 2
Okay.
sheets of drywall.
yeah, yeah.
To hang new?
Yeah.
No,
Or is
no,
this just
it's normally patch. It's normally
Okay.
patchwork. Yeah, yeah.
What-
So they're
what-
just saying like in a unit, Ray, because they don't know all the
Yeah.
time.
Oh, yeah.
So they're saying, hey, your allowance is
Per
50
unit is
per unit is 50 square feet. So anything that's under 50, cover it. If it get over 50, if somebody fell into the wall and now it's a big hole, now they saying we'll pay you more.
That's still a bunch.
It's
That's a
heavy.
lot of
It's good.
repair.
It's good. Yeah, no,
So
my
if you
guys
get
know how to
enough money
mud.
on it, it's-
Yeah, my guys
yeah.
know how to mud. They
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
good. So
Yeah.
a lot of the stuff, what we've been doing is the kitchen. So like I was explaining, when the countertops come off, redoing that line along the back of the backsplash,
Yep.
coming around the sides. When you replace over the stove, the
Yep,
heater over the stove.
range,
Yeah, the
hood.
range hood. Yeah, the layout is different, so you may have to do some patchwork there just to make it match. So it's never nothing really. Well, we haven't faced it yet, I guess you
Okay.
would say. On the current projects that we've been doing, it's mainly been. It's all manageable.
Yeah.
We've been doing a lot of penetrations because a lot of the apartment complexes are going more efficiency. So they've been worried about like EGC testing and airflow out, letting the heat escape and all of that type of stuff. So we've been doing a lot of caulking and
Right. So you're
foaming. So we
more specialized than just
no,
paint.
we kind of
So so from a marketing standpoint, what is your company? What is
we're a
what's the name
commercial
of your
painting
company?
business.
What is the name of your company?
VR Quality Painting.
VR Quality Painting.
Yep.
But you don't
But-
do paint?
Yep.
You're an interiors company.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is really
That's
what
a
it amounts
different
to.
that's a different business.
It is, because you're doing everything interior, or you could do
We
everything
could.
interior.
Yeah. And we've been talking about that too. So after this year, we've kind of been like, we probably should be VR construction opposed to painting because it kind of limits us opposed to the scope of work that we actually perform. So we got the name already. So we own VR construction, we own VR quality, all that good stuff. So
Why don't you just be VR construction and painting?
that's what it's called.
That's what it's called?
It's gonna end up being something like that. We still playing with it. We like the painting right now just because it gives us something to hang our hat on as like the core business. But
Well, and that's
when
what
talking,
the business was known. I mean,
yeah, the one that we got.
the name's out there at
Yes.
least with some of your existing clientele.
It was Mita Quality Painting. So we just took the Mita part. That was his last name, and we just put VR on there. So yeah,
What's the VR stand for?
Vic and Ray.
Vic and Ray.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it.
I don't know. If you call
Yeah,
it
if
VR,
it's-
you got to have some sort of
you
virtual
free-
reality.
Virtual reality. People say that all the time.
Yeah,
they
like
do.
I want to put on the goggles and I want to
Headset,
see the
look
room.
around.
I want the
when
paint
you're
to
done
come,
with it.
come on by automatic robot.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but I guess I thought you were still running under the existing name or the
Mm-mm,
past name,
Nope.
but there's a rebranding really doesn't change anything then
Mhm.
at this point.
No, it's
so
not.
I would
the
get
construction and
that
paint.
done right away.
Yeah,
The
sooner than later.
construction part, like
Yeah.
they're a
Yes, you
construction
need to-
company.
yes. Yep. You need to add
Get
that
off of the
because
paint.
you offer more services.
We
than
definitely do.
just paint.
Like last year, our biggest contract that we did was electrical.
So you do electrical.
Yeah. But we don't brand that. But that's the customer came to us and said, can you do? We were painting there.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, it was again another scenario where they're saying, you already here. Do you have anybody to do electrical? The guy that we had just kind of dropped. It was a scheduling issue,
Right,
just like you
okay.
said. And
So
we
what?
stepped in.
So really, the question is, what don't you do?
Nothing. We
Can you
all
do the
that.
countertops?
Of course.
Can you do the tiling?
Yes.
So you are a
Main
construction
cabinets.
company.
We are a
Yes.
construction company. But again, what I purchased was a painting business. So
but don't
But why are you hung
don't
up
keep
on
limit
that?
yourself in the
Don't limit
box.
yourself. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, why are you hung
That's
up on
good.
the painting part?
I
Yeah.
don't know. That's
Why is the
I don't
painting
know.
important? I mean, what's the highest and best use of your company? Is it painting? Do you make the most money painting?
I think so.
So painting has the highest
It
margin.
has the highest margin, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's 30,
Because-
yeah.
Yeah,
There's
and I
no
would agree
room
with
to
that.
it.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you stay in more in depth in the trades, more of a skilled trade,
Yeah.
like demo, unfortunately, just about anybody can do demo. where painting is more of a skill,
skills, yeah.
electric's more of a skill, hanging cabinets is more of a skilled trade.
Yeah.
You know, if you stay in that skilled trades area, I think your margins will be better.
Yeah.
Where unfortunately just demo doesn't.
Yeah. The demo just comes in as a piece.
It
you know
is.
what I mean? It's just a piece.
It's a piece that you have to do to get the job, kind of. It's not going to be a high profit margin portion. It's just going to be
a piece.
this gets your foot in the door for the stuff that actually makes money.
It's actually not bad, though. Demos.
I know.
Appliances, you got to take out the furnace, have water tank. They want toilet, vanity, all that stuff.
It's not bad. It's easy stuff. You mean?
Yeah.
Unscrew because
It's just labor.
Decent margin.
Yeah.
So
Garments.
construction and painting, does that cover it? I mean,
that
are
covers
those the key words?
No,
so
that
when
covers
someone, Google SEO, when someone's looking for construction, painting,
Yeah.
you're going to come up. Is there
Yes.
another word that needs to be in there too? Or are those two words?
I think that's the core.
I kind of, well, yeah. Do you do exterior painting or just
We do
interior?
exterior
You'll do
painting.
exterior. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's say
We kind of shy away. Again, what we want to be known for is apartments. We want to be your team that comes in and do your repaint. Not
your
like
paint.
property manager,
no.
like unit turn.
But
when it's time for the big
property
construction.
management company is going to hire you guys
Yep.
to do the turns
Yep.
in that
Yep.
apartment complex.
Yeah.
Yep.
So how many apartment complexes are being built right now in Detroit?
Being built, it's a lot.
A lot?
Yes.
So there's a
Construction
lot of
is crazy.
construction happening now.
Yes. A
So
lot of
you should
construction is
be.
That's why I just got to
killing
keep
it right
bidding.
now.
I just got to keep bidding. That's
Well,
what I'm learning. Just keep bidding.
And in addition to stopping at all these existing job
Yeah.
sites that are going, the new construction stuff, I would stop and hit up all the existing apartment complexes.
Yeah.
They all have a property management company. If they're not self-managed on
Yeah.
site, like the larger apartment complexes,
So
get in touch with all of those property
Fridays,
managers.
which is today, our two people at the office, they should be doing that. So we started doing Fridays is like donuts and out in the streets day because we ain't got nothing for them to do at the office. So Fridays we've been sending them out to construction companies, taking donuts. We got a little flyer that we push in just to let people know
So
that
you're
we
going
exist.
to the company's
Yep,
office.
every Friday. We just started that probably 2 weeks ago. So every Friday we're gonna send our two people out and they pick who they want to go to, and then they give us feedback on what took place.
What are some other choke points, like paint stores? Like who are
stores
the
is
paint
good.
providers
a lot
where
of the,
that
a lot
would
of the
say, okay,
clients
this
want
is a
Sherman
group.
Williams. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of
Who you
the
deal with?
it's architect. Yeah, a lot of the architects out there want Sherman Williams, so that's pretty consistent.
Yep.
It's really our bidding was an issue because of course we didn't know how to reprints and we didn't get nobody who knew how to reprints. So we learned that kind of naturally, but that took a little time too. And I think that's what really deterred us from bidding last year, to be honest. We opened the
You
prints
were
up.
scared. You didn't know what you were
We opened the prints up. We like, yeah, let's just go back to the job site. We're
So
going.
is that a who?
Yeah.
Like you got to find the person who knows
No,
how to read
my partner
the
can do it.
prints?
He could do
They
it
can
now.
do it?
Yep. And then he was able to teach a sales guy to do it too.
Okay.
So that was where I was explaining. We get the job, we get it, we pass it to them. They pretty much distinguish what needs to be done. Then we meet again and we price it.
Mhm.
So that's kind of our process right now. So I would meet the client, get them whatever. They'll send us over the bid package. We'll siphon through it, find the paint areas, everything that needs to be painted. I'll have my two people break down what actually needs to be painted, whether it's exterior, interior, hallways, stairways, whatever. And then once they get a breakdown, what we need to do, then we'll come in and price.
Okay.
So that's kind of the process right now. But again, if I had a true estimator or a true salesperson,
Yeah.
it would eliminate, it's two things that's happening there where it shouldn't be.
No, it shouldn't at all.
It's the person I'm handing it to, they can't do the next task.
Yeah.
So that person has to
Well,
change. So I
and-
gotta just figure that out.
It almost feels like you got too many hands in the pot trying to do the same job at this point. Because like if it's your partner and you and your two salespeople,
He
and
only-
an estimator,
We only do it because they
Like-
don't know how to do it.
I know you've got to either find
Well,
that right
that's
person
it.
or train the people that you have
Yes.
and designate one of them
One of them to do it.
to do that.
Yeah.
And are you sure they don't know how to do it? Because you bought an existing paint company.
Yeah.
So how did they do it before you?
So the owner used to just kind of do everything.
Do all the estimates.
He was the estimator
Okay,
pretty
so
much.
he was-
And now he
Which-
gone. So it's like
Did he
she
give
was the
you-
person that wrote up his stuff.
Uh-huh.
So she knows kind of like, and we have all of his old bids from all of those years. So I can go back and see like, okay, this job is kind of similar to this. So that's kind of how we've kind of played our way through it is we look at something that's
But-
similar that he's done and kind of
That's
reverse math it.
probably one of the most critical
Yes.
pieces of the puzzle in a business is if you don't get your pricing right
Yes.
and quickly, you're going to be out of business very
Very quickly. Yes.
Because if you underbid a job by a bunch
Yeah.
accidentally,
Yeah.
or your employee does,
Yeah.
you're stuck.
No, I know. And
You're on the hook.
And even the job that we got with O'Brien, they was like, y'all were really cheap, but we gave it to you. It's like, oh, okay. But again, for right now, what we bid, we know we still make money on it, but is it the price that it should be? No. And that's where we got to work on.
Yeah.
Well, I think the difference is going to be if you don't get your pricing right, you'll make money, but you won't
make enough to grow.
You won't make enough to grow.
Yeah.
Whereas if you find the right person who can really quote it correctly, that they can pay for themselves by getting you the right price for the work you're doing.
I got to still
and help you grow.
I gotta find. We've had an Indeed search out. We got a little headhunter girl that's out there trying to find us one. We really can't find an estimator out there. Really, that's really the problem. We've been looking. We think the salaries range between 80 and 120. So we're willing to pay it, but we really just haven't located the person. So that's why we just kind of dealing with our team until we find them.
People don't understand too, like 80 to 120 sounds like a great salary, but in the construction world today, it's just marginal.
That's super marginal.
And it's
for what the quality that they would be bringing.
Yeah, it's the other benefits too. Like, are you providing the vehicle for them? Because that's a normal expectation in the construction world. Is they're all going to get their own truck. They're going to get a great salary.
Yeah.
It's a lot of other perks that go along with it, it's tough to find.
That is what we're working on. Yeah. So that's why we kept those. We got the Benz Sprinter that we kept. It's like, somebody want to ride this. Like certain vehicles that we have with FedEx. It's like, okay, these will convert. They got shelving in the back, so this will work.
This will work.
So it's
if they need a truck.
Oh, I got trucks.
Got
that I got. I got that all day long, baby. They got trucks for sure. People who don't deserve trucks got trucks right now. People who don't deserve them got trucks right now.
They will always have trucks.
No, this is great feedback, and I really think that for me, it's just being consistent and staying on the one thing. If I just keep letting people know that I'm your guy for paint, I feel like everything else will work itself out. We knew, and it's gonna take time to grow the business, but as long as we continue to put the work in, I think everything will work out. Well, and again, meeting the right people too. Like today, I met a guy. For another RPOA conference, I met a guy today who was the old KMG Prestige.
Oh yeah,
huge property management company. He was the president for higher end in Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
So he oversaw 7,000 units. He gave me the lady's name who took his place, and he gave me the guy's name who runs the low income, oversees all of it. So again, just coming here, you get those type of things. So if I can pop off,
that's the kind of connections you make at the Midwest Real Estate Investor Conference. It used to be the RPOA.
Oh yeah, my bad.
Now
the
Midwest Real Estate Investor.
That sign was right there. It's gone. I was reading it every time I said it. No, that's
so. Tell our listeners and our viewers, plug your business. Like if they're in what areas are you working in?
Yes. So as far as contracting, we still do residential rehabs for investors. Harris Family Contracting, I'm still taking our clients there. VR Quality Painting, we're a commercial painting business. I am looking to get apartment owners or apartment managers in my circle. That's what we like to specialize in. We like that type of business. We understand what comes with having a vacant unit as well as an occupied unit. So those are the type of jobs that we want to tackle. And if you want to get in contact with me, my phone number is 734-891-7954. And email address is ramond.harris@yahoo.com.
And Ramond is
RAMOND.harris@yahoo.com. Thank you.
All right. I got another one for you to look at.
Shoot, I like it.
State of Michigan, county, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
For a long time, I've been out of that business for a long time, but even the universities, a lot of them require a percentage of their bids to be, the percentage of the project to be performed by DBEs, disadvantaged business entities.
Yep, minorities,
Yep, by the minorities, you know. I would definitely look into that road too. If you can get qualified as a DBE,
government type
get
work.
some government type work, some university work.
Well, are you qualified?
We are DBE. Yeah, we DBE, we MBE. We got a lot of the certifications. I just need to continue to try to get those contacts.
Because
I agree.
Having that on top of the ability to do the project is huge.
Yeah.
Because back in my day, they required like 7 to 15% to be performed by a DBE, which is a hard number to hit depending on the project.
I see what you're saying. Especially where you're at
location. So that's a huge advantage.
I don't know if it's like that in Detroit, but over on this side of the state,
west side, it's big.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's probably like that over there too.
it not only helps you get the project, but it can also help you kind of build in a little bit of profit margin too, because if you're the only DB painter, you know what I mean? Like,
you get a premium.
Charge a premium
and
for
that's
it.
kind of the reason why we're saying paint, because there aren't many minority paint companies. Like, there are a lot of construction companies, but it's like when you narrow it down and say we are minority painters, it's like, oh, hold on, wait a minute now. So that's kind of where we're trying to keep that focus on paint high. We know we can do other stuff, but I think if we just continue to let them know that paint, we end up being a painter.
There you go. So is it VR quality painting, or is it going to be VR quality
construction? It need to be VR construction. That's
or
what
maybe
it is.
VR painting and construction.
Something along those lines. Yeah. I'll have an update for you next year.
Yeah, next year. Next year
we're gonna find out what's really going on with the painting world.
For real.
That's why I love these yearly conversations, because every year there's something new and exciting going on.
Yeah.
No, thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
what about, we can touch real estate at all?
Well, so I want to keep this under 30 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
But it's probably over 30 minutes
It probably
now.
is over 30 minutes.
Justin, thanks for joining us.
No, thank you. It was a lot of fun. As always. It's great to catch up with Ray.
I appreciate it.
I've always enjoyed these conversations. Ray's just such a go-getter, hard worker, and he just root for you every time we have a conversation.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You'll get there. You'll do it. It's just a matter of your path winds a little more than so.
Hey, I don't mind it. And I appreciate that feedback coming from you. 100%.
No, it's great.
Well, and I appreciate you sharing everything. I mean, you're kind of a walking testimonial to the power of the networking that happens at the Midwest Art Real Estate Investor Conference, because so much of your business has stemmed from people you've met here.
I'm telling you, it's
the
crazy.
lawyer who
who got me the paint company.
The paint company now.
Right here.
Yeah. So
it's crazy.
I appreciate it.
It's fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll do this again next year.
See you guys
next year.
Let's get it, B.
I want to thank everybody for listening to this episode. I'm your host, Brian Hamrick from Hamrick Investment Group, and you can find out more about me by going to higinvestor.com. That's HIGinvestor.com. And you can also ask questions and join us on Facebook by going to RPOA, Rental Property Owner and Real Estate Investor Podcast. This episode was sponsored by Green Property Management, managing everything from single-family homes to apartment complexes in the West Michigan area. Find out more at greenpropertymgt.com. And RCB and Associates, helping real estate investors and small business owners navigate the complex world of health insurance and Medicare benefits at rcbassociatesllc.com.
You've been listening to the Rental Property Owner and Real Estate Investor Podcast, brought to you by the Rental Property Owner Association. You can find out more at rpoaonline.org. If you enjoyed this podcast, please go to iTunes to subscribe, rate, and review.